Hi, everybody. Welcome in to another episode of Let's Draw. Hope you're doing well. Thank you very much for joining in. Just checking a few things, making sure everything's working. I think we're broadcasting on Instagram today as well. So if anybody wants to watch on Instagram, if you just want to watch this middle bit, that's all you're going to see on Instagram. If you want to watch everywhere else, YouTube, Facebook, X, Discord, Abstract, you're going to see all of this lovely stuff on the outside, including man in the chair. Sorry, this side, man in the chair is Joff. Hi, Joff. How are you, mate? You all right?
Evening. Yeah, not too bad, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, really good. Thank you. What have you been up to this week, Joff?
Not too stressed. I was just in work, just kind of avoiding the crypto crash,
There's
and
been a crypto crash, has there?
yeah, yeah, we won't talk about it. Let's
Okay.
keep the conversation moving.
Yeah, let's keep it light. Yeah. Okay. So hopefully not too many people have lost everything, and we'll give you something to enjoy in the next hour or so. Um, this is part of the Corp Dogs creative community. So there's two things we want to do with that. One is to get you creative. So every week we come here for Let's Draw, Joff and I, and we teach you how to draw. Usually with a quick half an hour drawing lesson and then a bit of chat. Um, Today, though, we've got a special guest. We've got Arran MacPhail, who's in the green room at the moment and will be joining us in a few seconds. Before we do that, I just want to quickly get back into Joff to see if is there a plan for a giveaway today, Joff?
There is, yeah. So following on from last week, where we had Remouse giving away a an NFT for us to airdrop to everyone, we can do the same. Aaron's kindly provided something later
Excellent.
that you have to listen out for, and a little bit of a process, but yeah, hopefully it's a nice easy one.
It's always an easy. Yeah, yeah. The least resistance. That's what we try and get. So yeah, they're the two things that you're going to get
Exactly.
is a drawing lesson to get you creative and to grow your art collection. We're giving away one of Arran MacPhail's pieces, but you've got to stay tuned. You've got to be involved to see what it's going to be. Let's just say a few little hellos to everybody. So thank you for joining in the Discord. Discord looks nice and busy today, which is awesome. Thank you guys for joining in there. I'm loving those avatars. Moop moop, that looks great. Who else we got? Fishby8 and Joff. Joff is there already, of course. Paul, Julish, Tracy. Thanks for joining, everybody. Really appreciate it. Right, let's get straight into it, shall we? And introduce our artist for the week, and it's the fabulous Arran MacPhail. There he is. Hi, Arran. How are you, mate?
Evening. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Living the
Hey,
dream.
thank you very
Hey, Aaron,
much for joining
you
us.
good?
So,
Yeah, great. Thank you. Yeah,
quick,
thanks, John.
quick question then before we get started. So Aaron is going to show us a little bit about his kind of drawing process, how he draws, where all his ideas come from, and we're going to try and interrupt him as much as possible with a bunch of questions and things like that, just to see how good he is at multitasking. But yeah, Aaron, if anybody's not familiar with you, can you just sort of like give a bit of an introduction to yourself?
Yeah, so I'd class myself as an illustrator or street artist. I've got a graphic design. I did study at Cambridge School of Art, uh, Anglia Ruskin, graduate there in maybe six times. I pretty much do every medium, with the exception of maybe oils. They're too tough for me, so I steer clear of them. But yeah, I've been drawing a very long time. I feel like I've tried to get my own graphic design. Yeah.
Excellent, and nice to have somebody who's actually got some qualifications on. That's cool. What is what is
Yeah, not the be all and end all, but yeah.
no, but what's the qualifications? What did you find? Did you find they were worth the amount of time you were studying for? Did they kind of push you forward? Did they hold you back? Or for anybody out there who's not who's not got qualifications, or anybody who's looking at getting qualifications, what's your advice to them?
I think I think I learned a lot at university. I really did. I learned to embrace getting things wrong, working with the problem solving. I expanded into screen print, printmaking, children's book illustration. I think if you've got a direction that you want to go in, it's great. I think that's sort of just it's you don't have the same interest like there's a nice big group in Peterborough. That's also good because that helps you push your boundaries and your limits. So I think it just depends on what you want.
So yeah, mix of things. Yeah, qualifications are good, but also
Yeah.
local community and having other artists around you is good as well. Yeah, probably should point out that Arran's pretty local to me. I used to live in Peterborough, but I managed to escape. But we've painted together quite a few times over the years. So yeah, it's going to be great to see what you come up with. So Arran's going to now we're going to whip over to a different view, and yeah, anybody who's joining in today, we're going old school. We're going marker pens. For today's session, marker pens and paper, nice and old fashioned. So yeah, last week I tried to keep up with Remouse, tried to draw what Remouse was drawing, whilst keeping an eye on the chats and asking questions as well, and it didn't really work out. So I'm just going to leave you to it this time, Arran. So yeah, feel free to get started and just talk a little bit about your process. You know how you start, whether you use pencils, pens, anything you like. Go for it, mate.
So I pen. I'm going to embrace the getting stuff wrong side of it. So it's just a 5M Posca pen that I'm going to use today. All I wanted to show today was just how I use some creative tools and methods to create images, to create faces. Sometimes when you want to do a bit of doodling, a bit of art, you're not entirely sure what you want to paint. You just know you want to get painting. So this is kind of how I do it. So I start with anything, any blank bit of paper, and then all of a sudden I'll just start doing some lines. Doesn't matter. You just don't want to go too over the top with the lines in general. It's getting in the way. I've not got any sort of plan at the moment. I'm kind of just trying to put in some form of structure to it.
Do you find it hard to know like where to put that first dot? Like, is that an artist kind of block a lot of the time? Or?
I genuinely start with the left and go over pretty much all the time, just because I'm right-handed, and I'll do it that way. The camera stand is a bit annoying today, but we'll work with it. And then so I've got two sections here. It's kind of got one line going there and then one line going there. So then what I'll try and do is use these as a bit of a format to try and create some, we'll go with faces is normally my go-to sort of style, to try and get some imagery in there. So if I start with this side, there's not really any, you can't really go wrong, but it's all about just trying to be fluid, just trying to embrace certain lines and go with it.
As much as you say you can go wrong with it, I think there's every opportunity to go wrong with it. But what I'm seeing is the way you're putting on these lines so far, they're all very, there is a bit of a pattern coming out in the sense that it's either a straight line or a hook or a curve or something like that. And then just kind of loads of, 45-degree angles coming in.
Yeah, so you've got a good point there. So this straight line here, I'm just trying to, because I'm using a Posca, I might get ink. But this line here, what I'm going to do, I think that's going to make a good nose. So I might just come down there, flip out a little bit there, and then all of a sudden you've got a nose. I might just use that as then the eyebrow. I'm going to come down. I'm going to use this gap here as where I'm going to stick my, I'm going to do a couple of eyes on this. So they're going to be the eyes, and all of a sudden I've got a face here that's sort of blurring into a second face here. So I might try and use that as well. So if I try and use his ear, it'll create a bit of a mouth piece here, and I'll use that eye to try and intertwine both of them.
So as you're going along,
all of a sudden
more starts coming out of the artwork. Yeah.
It does. It kind of builds on itself. I don't like I was trying to say. It kind of looks complicated, but I have just done lines, and then what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to think about an image that I'm trying to then create out of it. And as you can see, it's kind of then giving me maybe another little face over here. So I'm going to use that, bit of a jawline going on. Kind of got a bit of an eye. I could do
So is
bit
this a
of an eye.
style that you kind of adopted, or did you pick it up during your studies, or where's it kind of come from for you?
It's just come from just not knowing what to draw.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit of alcohol, and just going at a sketch pad and just, you know, just not being afraid to do it. You know, there's nothing that's going to go wrong with this, if I'm being honest, because it's a sketch. It's just to open up your creative mind. It's just to let your inhibitions go, not worry about getting stuff wrong. So there's another guy there. He's just come up. He's just poked up out of the blue, actually. So I'm gonna. So as you can see, and do you know what I like doing? I like trying to, if there's a line, I like trying to include it into the next image if I can, to make it feel connected and make it feel like it's one fluid piece. So this line here, and what I would do is I will go over these and I'll make them thicker, and I'll churn them out a bit more, add a bit of depth to it. You can colour them in, you can shade them in, you can kind of do what you want really with it.
It's good to see you going straight in with a pen. Is that something you'd normally do? Is go straight in with a pen, to have the fluid nature of it, or do you ever plan anything out in pencil?
Yeah, you know, occasionally I'll plan in pencil, but I think it's nice to do pen. I think it's nice to be a bit brave, really. You know, just go with it. Don't be afraid to get stuff wrong. We're all human. This is just about doodling. You know, this isn't going to be a framed piece that I'm going to put anywhere. It's just for me to connect my cognitive sort of memory and my brain to the art side, get my juices flowing, if you will. It's a horrible word, but get them flowing. And just try and, out of this, I might all of a sudden come across a face that I think, you know what, there's some potential in that. I'm going to then do something a bit more with it. So this is kind of, I don't know if you know, it might just seem absolute gobbledygook, to be honest, but all of a sudden it will kind of come into something at some point. And if you're used to drawing corpse stuff, you'll kind of have an idea of noses and eyes, and you'll kind of have an idea of your own style. So you just use it really. But I'm not really thinking too much about where stuff's going. Kind of just get some lines in there.
So one of the things you mentioned earlier was about not being afraid to make mistakes. Now, I know as an artist, you're drawing stuff, but you don't take mistakes quite as seriously as you know, somebody who's probably a more emerging artist. So looking at your piece there, is there any bits in there that you're kind of looking at thinking that's not really turned out the way I wanted it to, or you know, what you'd probably see as mistakes that the rest of us are looking at? It all looks fine.
No, yeah, I mean there are. I won't lie. This little stand here is making me. I'm having to hover with my arm, so I'm kind of using my finger as a bit of a painting stick at the moment. So the lines are not quite as crisp as I normally want them to be. So there's a bit of wibble there, and I don't usually like that. I like to be confident with my lines.
Yeah.
But that's just, you know, is how it is today.
I think
what I'll try and do.
No, go on, carry on, mate.
No, I was going to say, I think what I'll try and do is, because it's feeling quite heavy side down here.
Yeah.
So I always like to try and think about the page. So I will try and build up around the area. So kind of going to create like a box. So that is something that I do always think about, is weight of page, where the piece is going to sit. So I will almost stop drawing over here, maybe a little bit there, but then I'll focus over here and just make it feel like it's a bit more even.
Yeah. Nice. Right, let me just do a few more hellos. Cool Cows are in on YouTube. Hi, Cool Cows. Appreciate you joining in. Hope you're doing well. Paul Crest says pencils are for losers. I don't know where he's got that from. But yeah, I hear you. Going straight in with a pen makes you better, quicker, I think. And Arran is somebody who's really known for crispy, smooth lines. What advice have you got, Arran, for anybody that you know wants to? You know, I teach people to draw wonky stuff. What advice have you got for anybody who wants to kind of up their game when it comes to their line work and they want to get those super smooth, crispy lines that you do?
You know what, with Poscas, the tip is important. So, and you know, I occasionally rotate it around if it's getting a bit
Yeah.
scuffy, and I won't be afraid to bin it off and use it for something else. It could be used for shading. So, a nice, fresh, crisp pen is always appealing to me.
Yeah.
I think there's some pens out there that are absolutely amazing. I do love a big chunky paint pen. If I'm ever doing graffiti or street art or anything like that, I'll use a nice big Molotow or an acrylic Montana acrylic pen. And I think it's just about getting the right pressure. For me, it's just you can over pressurize a pen. If I was to pressure a bit too hard now, there'd be a load of ink going everywhere. So I try and avoid that. But yeah, so some of these faces are kind of bleeding into each other now, which is quite cool, I think. I quite like that. I've got this guy here, his teeth are kind of going into this guy's head, which I quite like that. And as you can see, I'm trying to just build up a bit more of this page this side.
If anybody's got any questions as well whilst we're doing this, if you've got a question, just please go and pop it into the comments somewhere. If anybody wants to share their artwork, you're probably better off doing that on Discord. Makes it a lot easier for me to bring it up on screen. So anybody who's sharing their artwork on Discord, I'll see if I can put it on screen. If you share it there, it's definitely going on screen. I'm not going to ask you permission. So yeah, whatever you post is coming on. So yeah, get in the Discord and share your artwork there. If you want to support what we're doing, then get onto Abstract. We're broadcasting on Abstract as well. It's a good place to go to. You can go and send tips to keep the channel going. What questions?
I've got a question for you both.
Go for it, mate.
Yeah, so I did a bit of research on, well, ChatGPT did the research for me. And it hinted that you two had a battle lines against each other.
Oh, wow.
Was that right? Now, I've tried to find it on Instagram, but I suspect there was like a group battle lines.
No, me and Corp had a one-on-one one time.
And did you? Okay.
I was undefeated for 4 battle lines, four different sessions. And I was proud of that. And Corp went and took it away from me. Your piece was fabulous, by the way, Corp. I absolutely loved it.
I think that was good. I think I won it by like 1 vote as well. It was really close. And I basically won it by name checking. There was a bunch of dancers, there was a DJ, and I name checked them all in the artwork, and they kind of felt obliged to vote for me. It's the only way I won. But me and Aaron and
cheap shots.
Yeah, cheap shots. You know, it's Aaron's younger than me. He doesn't know all the little sly moves that I've got to make sure that I carried on winning, because we both went into that with I think 4 being undefeated battle lines on about 4 or 5 occasions each. So it was it did feel like a bit of somebody's going to lose their status a little bit here. Thankfully, it was Aaron.
Yes, and you know what? I loved it though, but I was inconsolable at the time. No, I wasn't really. It was good fun.
I don't think anybody that any artist that participates in like battle lines, secret wars, that kind of thing, I don't think any artist is really that bothered about winning or losing, because they understand that the art's subjective, and it's just there's more people that like yours a little bit more than somebody else's, but that's all it is.
Absolutely.
We're getting some people coming in on Discord now, so I'm going to start sharing those in a second. Somebody asked a question. MS Go Designs on Instagram. Yeah, if you're watching on Instagram, just 2 things. One is watch on another platform, so that'll do the algorithm loads of good, getting you to go over to YouTube, because you'll see a little bit more. You can at the moment all you can see is Aaron's drawing. If you want to see Aaron's face, then you'll need to watch on YouTube or Abstract or somewhere like that as well. So, but MS Go Design says they've just joined. Will this be a black and white line drawing, or are you planning to colour fill?
I'll tell you, it's a good question. I'll just sort of there's loads of different ways you can do this. I've got some what they call brush marker, Winsor & Newton brush markers, but I also do like to do. That's a horrible one. That one. Let's go for it. I do like to do this sort of detail, and I'm happy to share some of my sketchbooks if they want to see it. But so what I might do, just choose this little pocket here. I'll work around the shading areas.
How do you find the alcohol markers work with the Poscas? Do you not get a little bit of bleed or a little bit of smudging coming out?
I do. I just think you've got to be quick. You've got to be just confident with the line. If you overwork it, you will definitely get that. And then I've got, I don't know, what's this? A Micron number 8 pen. And then I might just work in with some line work like this. A different type of shading. It's maybe some stippling. You could always stipple bits to it as well. So what I like about my style of drawing is that you can kind of do, you can color it, you can pencil, you can use charcoal, you can use whatever your confident medium is.
Yeah,
because
that's
I
good.
do like a
And I
thick
think we'll
black
come
line.
back into that a little bit more later when we have a little look at your artwork, because you've got some really, you've got a distinctive style, and some of it comes out looking like really traditional, almost like very handmade. Some of it's very, very digital looking as well. So we can get under the skin of that a little bit later. I'm going to let you carry on drawing for a few more seconds while we just whip over to Discord, because there's a few people that are sharing their art in there. So you carry on, Aaron, and yeah, let's have a look, see what's happening in Discord. See if we can get Discord. Come on. All right, let's drop some pieces in. Who was that? That was Greets. Greets is doing some artwork. That's coming out really nicely, Greets. That's yours. And then Greets is in with their son as well. So let's bring that one in. Oh my word, let's just bring in all of Discord in. Right, let's come back to that in a bit. Yeah, I think we've lost Discord. Let's get back.
I think you might have left the stage.
Yeah, no, yeah, Discord has just gone down for me, so I'm gonna jump back in there, and because there was a few more people sharing their artwork, and I definitely want to have a little look, but it is playing up a little bit. Let me in again, Joff. Gotta love a bit of live broadcast.
There you go.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Let's get in. So Discord people, sorry about that. My Mac couldn't handle Discord being launched at the same time. So let's see if we can put some more photos in. Oof. Seeing a few pieces come in here. Right, let's get back to Greets. This is Greets' son. That's their piece. That's coming on quite nice.
Oh yeah,
that's really
that's Picasso-esque. Yeah,
love that. And that was the way,
that's right.
you wish you could draw like you were when you were a kid again. Instead, you've got all these like issues that you carry around with you about how lines are supposed to look. Love that. Let's have a look at Moop Moops. Let's bring Moop Moops in. What a Moop Moop. It's a strong, that's come up a bit big. It's a strong start. Loving all those loops. Nice. What a Moop Moop. Oh my God, Discord is so slow today. I knew I should have rebooted. Who's that? Is that Silent Thax? I think Silent Thax has dropped one in. Feed Me Parmo. Feed Me Parmo says they're loving the art. I think this is you, Silent Thax. Is that digital? Can't quite tell. Looks like it could be.
Good one.
Looks like it could be. Just dropping loads of colour in. Nice.
Yeah, I'm loving the approach.
So we've gone from some of these guys kind of dropping in some like really curvy, loopy lines, and then we've got Kitty who's going straight in with the how straight can you make your lines? That's
Oh yes,
I love this.
excellent stuff.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
face. I can see face. Yeah.
I love the fact that you kind of. I think that's probably the bit that most people will need to unlock is how they identify faces. But isn't it one of the things is that in order to make a good drawing, you need to put some faces in it because the human brain is always looking for faces in random patterns, and it's like as soon as you see it, as soon as it sees a face, it's like it rewards itself. I don't know whether like a chemical release or something like that. And that's why I always tell people, repeating patterns and faces in a piece of artwork are going to make it more appealing to yourself and to others. Have you got any? So we're halfway through our session, so we're 32 minutes through. So what stage would you say you're at with your piece? Is it like nearly finished, with just a start, or?
It depends. If I do it just black and white, honestly, I've got a little bit more work to do in this area, the bottom left area. Some of the lines sticking up. But it's probably about half an hour off of it if I wanted to say it was finished as a black and white piece. But you can then use this as a paint by numbers sort of thing, and then you can go in it and work the detail, and you can then do some sketching, do some stippling, scratching, whatever you need to do. That's probably a good couple of hours then after that, because you can really get into the detail. If you wanted to go further with it.
What's normal for you from like a duration point of view of a piece of art? Are you one of those artists that starts and finishes within half an hour, or do you like to keep projects going for like weeks?
I'm quite a quick artist, actually. Yeah, I want to try and get something done and then move on to the next thing. Paintings will take, graffiti art will take longer, but I think because I'm quite confident with my style, it maybe takes me a bit quicker than it might maybe with somebody else, to be fair.
Yeah. This is looking good. We've got Cool Cows. Let's see if we can bring their comment in. Looks like some deep abstract art. All those heads connected like that. Julish is with you when you're saying about the Picasso vibes.
Yeah.
So with your stuff, how do you know when you're finished? How do you know when to stop?
Oh, that's the ultimate question, isn't it? You can easily overwork something. That's a good question, Paul. How do I know when it's finished? I think you kind of just want to make sure everything is, for me personally, this is me, but all the lines are the same depth. There's a bit of symmetry to it. There's a bit of everything feels like there's the writing. I'm quite a bold graphic person, so I do quite nice. It has to be in the right way. It can't just be like half of this corner's missing because I've done it over here. I want to make sure I fill it out. But it's a really good actually, no. I kind of just
Excellent stuff. No, that is. I think everyone's got. That's one of the questions I get asked quite a lot. Is when you're finished,
I think,
and whether you've gone too far.
Yeah, I think because this now, I use that creative. I don't, there are pieces to my art that I have a real game plan. I know exactly what I want to do, and I will pencil it out. I'll draw it. I'll go through it. It's a I use when I'm just maybe I've got just creative. you think you leave finished.
Right.
It's
Well, as Arran wraps up, we are going to move over in a few moments. Have a little look at Arran's artwork as well. I love getting under the skin, watching people working and figuring out their process, going from start to finish. It's been really cool looking at yours, kind of going from those real thin kind of random lines that started off, then the pulling out the faces, and then the thickening of the lines, which is making it look a lot more like your work. And then all the way through to adding all those little details, bits of colour, bits of shade, bits of stippling, and the thinner lines in there as well. It's looking really good, mate. So yeah, we are going to have a little look at Arran's other pieces of work in a second.
I'll just carry on.
Yeah. You carry on, mate. It's just a reminder, anybody that is watching, just we do this every Wednesday. Every Wednesday we get online, and it's normally I think this is like episode 28. Normally it's me showing people how to draw, but this month we decided to mix things up a little bit. We had Remouse in last week, who drew what did Remouse drew? Some like scoops of ice cream. Arran drawing his abstract stuff this week. Next week we've got created by Imri on as well, who's going to show us a little bit about their style of drawing. So yeah, if you're interested in drawing, if you want to have a little go yourself, as well as just listening to a bit about the process behind how artists work, then yeah, just make sure you're keeping your eyes on the socials. There's a page you can go to. If you go to my website, corpacademy.com/let's draw, you'll always find all the alternative methods of watching there. But yeah, subscribe on YouTube would probably be the easiest way to make sure you're definitely in and getting your notifications. Kitty's just dropped another piece in and saying they've found a face, which is good. Oh yeah, I see the face. Let me just I'll bring that in, Kitty. So just over there, look, even the eyebrows,
oh yeah,
the mouth, a little nostril, the little place.
You've got it, yeah.
Nice work. That's exactly what it's all about, yeah. And it's just like how many faces can you get, and it's getting those faces overlapping as well. Not really sticking with just one eye. You can have several eyes if you want, yeah.
Yeah, I always do several eyes.
Good stuff.
If you did this with pencil as well, you don't have to do it in pen, but if you did do it with pencil, you could if you found a face that you really liked the look of, you could then get rid of some of the lines and then do the extra bit of detail, some sort of overlapping eyebrows or some jaw bones that sort of overlap and little folds of skin and stuff, and like folds of eyelids that you could probably add to it. So if you did do it with pencil, you could always make it a bit more detailed.
Yeah. Also,
speaking of that, did you want to jump into some of Arran's work?
Let's do it,
because that he's pretty much described the first piece.
Let's do it. Let's move on. So feel free to carry on, Arran.
And we didn't plan that,
but we are just going to whip over now and change our view.
Yeah.
A little look at some of your artwork, and yeah, if you can kind of like, as we show the artwork, just talk us through what the artwork's about, how it came about, anything you want to tell us about it.
Yeah. So that piece is a digital piece done on Procreate. Again, I very much used the same methods as what I've used here. As you can see, I've kind of used a circle as that's my controlled area of chaos. So within that's kind of the boundaries that I stick to. I've done it the same way. If I'm being completely honest, I've just done different lines, different noses in different areas, different faces. You can see in some of the faces there are multiple faces coming out of other faces, and that's kind of come out of this process. It's hidden. This is pretty horrific, isn't it? It's kind of like they're in the depths of hell in this one. But it's kind of come out of this process that I do. Just seeing the little bits of face and bone. And I've probably done exactly what Josh said, is that I've kind of stripped away some of the lines to then work on the eyes, the little folds, the detail, the shading, to maybe make it a bit more clearer. Because sometimes the bit that I'm doing at the moment live is some people might find it hard to see the faces in it.
I'm loving this little face here on the left.
Oh, the little one that's on the bridge of the nose.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a hidden Easter egg face, that one, Joff.
Oh yeah, I've just seen it.
The more you look at some of my stuff, the more you will find there is loads of that in there. Sometimes you have to rotate the images a certain way to find the faces as well. They're not always portrait or landscape. Some of them are upside down. I do quite like to work quite intricately and having images overlay each other. And
so, what app have you used for this? Is this a Procreate?
This is a Procreate, and I've used some textures by what's the name of them now? But there's loads of people that do it. I think it was called Retro Supply or something. But they had like old comic style papers and comic style stippling. They kind of come with pre-made brushes and stuff, watercolor brushes. And so I've used that. You can see the black has got like a bit of on there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it look a bit old school and a bit retro.
Nice. Yeah, I love that kind of technique of getting the more traditional looking art, but doing it digitally, which is what's coming across really strong in here. And even in the next piece, do you want to bring it over to the next piece, Joff? This the pink version. This is probably a bit more closer to what you've been drawing today, and then bringing out the faces.
Yeah, that's kind of why I wanted to put that one on there. That was a square, and then I worked within the square just to, again, try and bring something to life. But this is kind of where I'm going with it. You can, what starts off a bit of a just doodle, random face, you can then work into something, and then things will pop out and come out, and then you can maybe work with it. So that there is definitely been spawned out of a doodle that I've done in a sketchbook. And then I've created that in Procreate. The beautiful thing about Procreate is you can mess around with color, you can mess around with shading, you can mess around with all of that. When if you're doing it in real life, you get kind of one shot to pick your color palette.
Yeah.
So Procreate is a very useful tool, as well as all the other art platforms, but it's a really useful tool for that.
If you had to choose between, like your set of Posca pens or your iPad, what's your preferred method?
Oh yeah, there's only one winner, and that's the pens. I'll take drawing any day. Not to be insulting to digital art. I think it's incredibly talented. The people that do it, I've just got such a fondness for texture and putting something on a pen, and I really enjoy working through my errors. I see them a lot, and then I'm sort of nice appreciation for if I can make something look good, and I know I've buggered it up. So, yeah, I'll pick pens and Poscas and inks.
Talking about inks, this next piece that we've got, is this a digital piece again? Look at that.
No, this isn't digital. This is inks. This is Copic marker pens, fine liners, and Poscas. The Poscas are obviously the color. I might have used a thick black Posca as well, but that's hand drawn, that one.
I love the fact there's hardly any distinction between your digital pieces and your hand drawn pieces. Looking at those two pictures that have just come up, it's very difficult to tell which is digital and which is
so hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love that you actually had to question it, because literally we just don't know.
I love that Arran wasn't even that sure. It's like,
I sold that one to a woman in London, and I framed it, and I tried to incorporate the image out of the front. So you see where you've got the little purple rainbows. I ended up painting the rainbows outside of the frame as well. So I did that as a sort of a bit of a make it unique for her.
Yeah.
I always appreciate anyone buying my art, so I try and do it extra for them.
So talking of which, with people buying your art, do you have a website? Where else do you sell your artwork? How does that go?
So I have like a big cartel site, but if I'm being honest, I've kind of taken a bit of a break from selling it and trying to make money off of it, and I'm just doing it just for the love at the moment. I'm sure I'll rekindle that passion of trying to make a career out of my art. But at the moment, I'm just enjoying painting and going back to my roots of unwinding. I work a 9 to 5. I work an office job. I work in insurance. It's so dull and boring. So art for me is an escape.
Yeah. No,
that's literally reminded me that I've actually got one of your pieces on the wall behind me. I've just taken a photo of it and put it in the chat.
Yeah, you've got years. You bought a few NFTs as well.
Yeah, I got a few of your
yeah, that was such a fun.
I can just bring this in. It's made.
Oh yes, I loved this one.
Look at that. And again, just bringing in the frame, making the frame part of the artwork as well. It's really subtle, just with the red and the yellow there, but it all ties it together.
Yeah,
really nice.
And rotating the color against the backboard of the color. Same colors, just opposite way around. Adds a bit of depth to it. Adds a bit of top heavy perspective. I think the blue and yellow is such a lovely combination. You've just inspired me to do something with blue and yellow now. Blue, yellow, and orange. That's going to be my next thing.
There we go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. So yeah, anybody who wants to buy Arran's artwork, I think your best option is just find someone on Instagram that you like. Just send him a message.
Yeah, that's fine.
So right, before Arran tells us, anybody want to guess whether this is digital or IRL? Whether this is a real piece with real pens or a real piece with an iPad?
We zoom in and see if
yeah, you can zoom in.
There is a clue.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm gonna go with this is a real piece, just because we can see a little bit of texture coming up on those blue stripes.
Looking on the green
stripes, yeah.
Yeah, that's a real piece. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, silent access physical.
But it is a version of this that is a digital version, which is different. It's slightly different. It's because I had to redraw it all again on the Procreate. I didn't just use that and then go with it. I did the whole image again. So there is a version of this on the Tezos platform as well.
Is it fair to say that's your main place for selling NFTs on Tezos, or have you got any elsewhere?
I had some on. I had some on. There was a lovely site. Tezos is probably the main one. I did have some Ethereum, but it was too expensive for me to gas and post it. So I did stick with Tezos, to be honest, because it's just such a really reasonable price. But you can find some absolute gems in there as well, and you can sell yours. And I just really enjoyed that particular time.
I tell you what, I've really enjoyed doing at the moment is getting on. There's an app called Rodeo.club that Joff introduced me to. And it's just a nice, easy process for being able to upload a piece of artwork and make it available. I think Joff only stays available for like 24 hours, doesn't it? Where people can kind of it and then it kind of
just 24 hours.
But it's just if it just feels good to have a platform where people, if they want to buy your artwork and support what you're doing, they can do that and they can get a little bit of artwork back. What are we looking at here, Joff? This is
Arran's Tezos collection.
Ah, right. Look at that. So, yeah, if anybody's interested in buying any of this, hassle Arran.
I mean, some of the pieces are like dirt cheap at the moment. So that's like 50 cents.
I've criminally
Nice one.
undervalued myself on some of them. I know that.
I'll put that in the chat for everyone that is interested.
Thank you, mate. That'd be good. So let's the next piece that we're going to have a look at. This is moving into a slightly different realm for you, where it's less abstract and more kind of figurative.
Mm-hmm.
We'll let Joff kind of update the chat. Man in the chair.
Oh, sorry.
Got 2 jobs.
So I was too busy posting
posting
comments.
2 jobs to do at the same time. We ain't doing that. But yeah, this one, Aaron, a little bit more figurative. What's going on with this one? What's the story behind it?
Yeah, so I thought, I wanted to share this sort of stuff. I do have other styles that I do. I'm inspired by music, movies, music posters, mainly. So a lot of the pieces that are like this, they're inspired by characters. I'm not afraid to say that the face is a reference, so it's a reference from the Omen film, The Omen. Mm-hmm. So I'll take that image of the Omen and then I'll use it as a reference to then create this sort of surreal poltergeisty style image in a sort of stencil format. I used to, one of my early years, I used to really enjoy stencil art, and I did quite a lot of that. So yeah, this was sort of paying homage to that a little bit, but just something different that I thought I'll put out there.
Why have we got a little spaceship on the bottle?
So take you to another planet, that one.
All right, okay.
Might be brandy in there, who knows?
And a slice of pizza on
it. Yeah. That's a bit, yeah. Yeah, but again, this is a digital piece. This is a digital piece of art that I've used lots of texture, lots of patterns, lots of different brush types that are out there to create that.
And are all these on different as well, like in different transparencies, or do you just work on one layer?
Different layers, yeah. There's lots of different layers about one. There's how I build up with the blocks of color first, usually, and then sort of traditionally we'll build up with the lighter colors at the bottom, and then I'll work darker and darker and darker until you've got the black layer on the top, very much like a stencil again. A lot of these could be stencils, to be honest. If you were to take the layers away and cut them out, you could probably make them into stencils very easily.
Love that. Let's have a look at the next one, Joff, because that's another that's a bit more figurative. Your stuff is quite dark as well. This is what I've noticed. You like your abstract stuff is it's difficult to put a mood on it, which I like, but your more figurative stuff is really dark. And is that just like the horror movie kind of thing?
Yeah, I love horror movies. I love heavy metal, love metal in general. So I'm a big hip hop fan too, to be fair. But yeah, just inspired by the occult and anything that's sort of to do with different things, different. I'm trying to use my words carefully here, but just sort of satanic rituals, cult rituals. I find it fascinating. I absolutely find it absolutely incredible. I do like watching, serial killer movies, all that sort of stuff, horror movies, Amityville Horror, love them all, to be honest.
Yeah, I think if I'd known all of this before I took you on in Battle Lines, I'd have probably gone a little bit easier on you. It's got a little bit of a background in serial killers.
It's making me sound bad, yeah. That's why I was sort of trying to choose my words carefully.
Not all. My wife.
So your day job's in insurance, and then you've got this kind of bubbling away.
Yeah, moonlight as a serial killer.
This is what day insurance do to people.
Exactly.
Pent up anger.
Yeah, at least outside of insurance, you're just doing a bit of drawing, and we assume not going out in a van and picking people up.
I can assure you, I'm not. I'm far too lazy for that.
I mean, you'd deny it even if it was true, but that's all right. Let's move it on. What's next? Otherness is next. Where's this one from? So, what we got going on in this?
That is from an album I love. The Otherness is the title of a song from Alexis on Fire. At the time, that's what I was listening to. There's no other rhyme or reason than I chucked in Otherness. I'm a big fan of typography as well. So I try to do some, if I can do some typography, and I find calligraphy is absolutely amazing. I'd love to better my skills in calligraphy. It's something that I want to do further on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to get into typography again. The faces, the figurative faces, and the image itself is very horror related, very grotesque. I had this drawing lasers out of eyes. I've stopped that now. I've now gotten the rainbows out of people's mouths.
So you went from laser eyes to rainbow mouths. Awesome.
Yeah, and he's got very hairy hands, hasn't he? Just noticed.
Yeah.
He's a hybrid vampire werewolf.
Nice. Feed Me Palmo says it's an evil Jimmy Carr. It's got. To be fair, it probably looks like Jimmy Carr.
Can't see it now.
After he's had his surgery.
Yeah, I might do that again with blonde hair.
Yeah, just change it up a little bit. And I think a silent thanks as well. That's saying, to be clear, you can be dark without being bad, which is exactly right. Yeah, I totally agree with that. But then he followed it up with art keeps serial killers from acting out, which again,
I hope not.
Again, I'm wondering what percentage of my friends who are artists are like just stopping themselves from being serial killers by drawing some fluffy rainbows. Right, what do we got up next? Let's go for antisocial next.
I forgot I did. He sent a few of the figures. Yeah, again, digital media. This is a possessed zombie woman feasting on man flesh. And you know what? It was just, again, I was listening to While She Sleeps, another good band that I like. And they've got a tune called Antisocial. And you know what? It was just one of those, going to do something. Actually, I'll tell you what did inspire me with these ones in particular. That you might have noticed that they all look a bit 50s. The dress code, the face, the attire, they all look a bit 50s, 40s. I found an old railway book at my granddad's house with all these characters and posters of this way to Scarborough with some sort of character. And I just used them all as a reference. I thought they were really cool. I really liked them. And I just wanted to put them in. And I just thought it was funny. Why not make them evil and horror and and turn them dark? So that's kind of where it is. If I can find what that poster was originally, that would be quite funny to see that. But
I mean, it's probably not far off kind of going to Scarborough if anyone's been.
Yeah.
Apologies to anybody watching from Scarborough, but you know it. This is
Peterborough ain't much better, I will say.
Peterborough, yeah, best place to live in the country. Talking to Peterborough, we had a few paint jams back in Peterborough in the day. This is from one of the paint jams. What's the story behind you kind of spray painting? How long have you been doing that? Because you said right at the start that you don't really consider yourself a street artist, but I know you kind of, you join in a few jams and do a bit of big mural work as well. So how did you get into that?
I probably, you know what, Corp, you're probably responsible in a way. Nice, responsible. I'd probably say Prin, who's another artist from Peterborough who used to run the battle lines. I think when I very first met Prin, she'd seen some of my work at, it was like a background jam thing, and I'd sort of taken up the courage to go and paint on a bigger wall. And then I got introduced to a group of people. And from there, years on now, there's been an art collective, and then Corp founded some of these amazing paint jam festivals. And it was yourself and actually others that encouraged me to go bigger. Don't go small, go big. And when you go bigger, the best thing to do is just reach out to a spray can. I wouldn't muck around with paintbrushes or anything like that. Go to a spray can and just try it. You can always, with a spray can, you can really overwork your mistakes quite easily. You can, within seconds, you can spray back over it, cut in the line again, and you can try and rectify errors. It's quite an easy medium. Where it gets really difficult is where you then finish it with your line work. That's where the talent comes in, doing the finer detail. Blending is really tough. As you can see there, I have avoided all blending because I'm not that good. So I've stuck to bold, flat colours. And actually, I will admit this: the black is a very thick paint pen. It's an acrylic paint pen by Montana. I want to say it's about 50 millimeters, so it's a big old boy, big old pen. But it's wonderful. It's a great pen.
How'd you find using a pen? Why would you use a pen and not a paintbrush on something like this?
I could use a paintbrush. I just find a pen easier to get crispy lines. I find it easier to find an edge. I find it easier to make a point or to cut off a point so it's quite square, or even if it's a circle, I find it easy just to sort of drag it around. I could use a paintbrush. I think I wouldn't mind using a paintbrush, but pens they're quite easy to do. They're compact. They're refillable.
Yeah. I suppose
you can have a cut.
You've got the paint and the tool for applicating it all in one handy handheld device, haven't you? And
you do. If you're looking to get a tough to reach area, you don't have to dip in your paint bucket, and to do it, you can just reach over and get it all within one.
What is the biggest you've ever painted? Because this is an 8 foot by 8 foot board, but I imagine you've done a bit bigger than that.
Yeah, 20 foot tall. I think it was about 15 foot wide. It was an underpass at Autumnmere. I'm not good with heights either, so getting to the top wasn't my favourite thing to do. But yeah, I'd say it was a 20 foot high, about 15 foot wide. It was like one of the pillars that you find under an underpass for one of the.
Is it the
one of the? That's right. Yes, I was trying to think of what it's called. Yes, yeah, that's probably the biggest I've done, and I'm hoping that one day I'll be invited back. I'll be able to do another one at some point.
It's happening at the end of this month, mate.
I know, but I've seen all the paintings go up, and I'm sitting there thinking, I don't think I'm being
they've already been done,
haven't they? I don't think I'm being asked this year.
There's two. I got asked this year, so me and Tony Nero are going back on the 26th of April or something like that.
Oh, amazing!
So
that would be great.
Yeah, I'll probably send you a message so you can get all the high bits done for me, and I'll do the bits where I can just stand on the ground.
Yeah,
you do some high wobbly lines. That'd be great.
Yeah, I will do. Yeah, I won't stitch you up at all. Don't worry.
Do you are you planning on it, like any live jams? Going to do that? Do you find like working in like an office job, does that release you enough to get out for the weekend and paint live?
So I've got one coming up. It's the sort of mid-May, I believe. It's at a place, West Craven Community College. It's an art jam there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a massive one, but it's a good old day. Hopefully the sun's out. So those jams do pop up, and I'll always do them. I do love getting out there and painting. And I'll be honest with you, I don't ever do much planning. I really don't. I kind of just rock up and I'll go through I'll take a sketchbook or my iPad. I'll search through some old images. This is why. That's what I'm saying. I love my sketchbook and stuff like that, because I'll just go revisit something, and I'll just use that and then go with that. And the colours might be different. The image might turn out completely different as well. But I do like to wing it a lot of the time.
There's a lot to be said for the confidence to be able to turn up for a paint jam with a blank wall. And no plan of what's going to go on that blank wall, and still kind of producing something like this. That's awesome. So, is that the Angry Pencil Jam that you're going to?
Yes, Angry Pencil Jam. Yeah.
Gotcha. That'd be good. Anybody who's local as well, I think the Angry Pencil do a drink and draw called Hangry Pencil. That's happening this Friday as well. So
yes, and I'll try and be there for this one.
We sponsored the last one, didn't we?
That's right, yeah. Why didn't I mention that? Yeah, I don't know. Was it the last one, the one before? But yeah, one of the Angry Pencil Jams, Corp Dogs sponsored it in the form of making sure the artists were well fed and looked after.
Yeah, and that's why I'm going, for the good food.
Exactly. This is what, when I was organising paint jams, this is the one thing I realised, is that most artists will come just for good food. And if they do turn up, you've got to give them some good food. And we had a great person cooking our food at Corpfest.
We did.
Joff, are we coming? So we're getting towards the end. Are you revealing any kind of like secret word or?
Yeah, well, I was literally just scrolling through Aaron's Instagram, and I didn't know, Aaron, if you wanted us to share links to your socials and stuff at some point anyway.
Yeah, you can do, yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't help see that as well as art, you've got a dog as part of your feed, features quite prominently.
Yes,
and I figured that as we're corp dogs, and yeah, we're everything about the dogs, that your dog's name should be the secret word this week.
Oh, lovely. She'll love that.
So Bella, hopefully I've got the right name.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
That was going to be my question, because I remember what the dog looks like, but I couldn't remember what the dog's name was.
Yeah, so Bella, Bella.
Bella. That's the secret word. Joff is now going to explain to you what to do with that secret word.
Yeah, have you got the link you could put up on the screen?
Me?
Put you on the spot.
Yeah, of course. What is the link? It's
corpdogs.
Hang on a sec. Yeah, I've got it.
There you
go. Hold the fort, Joff.
I'll reveal the piece while you're doing that. Yeah. So that's that Aaron's kindly donated, which is amazing. Do you want to talk us through and kind of?
Yeah, this is.
I think it's more of the same kind of amazing eyes, faces galore, really, isn't it?
This is unfinished, which is why I thought it might be quite nice. Colouring in, and the next part of what I probably didn't get to today was going into the detail and bits of the bits that I was trying to say, is that when you do the faces, you can then go in a bit further and maybe detail it, and it's just the start of the process, really. But this one is, this is just, I mean, a lot of my stuff, the faces are all interlinking and intertwining. Part of it's be part of the process, but it's also a lot to do with your mindset and stuff like that. Having thoughts inside your brains and stuff like that, and lots of conflicting things. So I've always done that, and I've always found it really enjoyable to do. Eyes, mouths, faces, teeth, all that sort of stuff. I find you can chop and change it so much, and you can make it so different. You can make an eye evil, sad, happy. You can change it so it's zombified. You can change it so it's in so many different ways you can make it so it's Picasso-esque, like we've seen some of the people today. It's all about just pushing your boundaries, really, with your own style.
Yeah, it's amazing.
These are all voices.
If anyone too
crazy.
Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, these are all the little voices in Aaron's head. These little people that are kind of popping out.
Yeah.
Amazing and worrying. And if anybody could reach out to Aaron, just make sure he's okay every now and then, that'd be great. Is that the right URL down the bottom there, mate?
Yes. Yeah. So if everyone heads to that and then enters the secret word Bella, that'll take you to a Google form where you'll need to submit your abstract global wallet address. And if you haven't got one of those, go to abs.xyz wallet. So 5 seconds. And once you get your wallet address, head over to that address on the screen there, and get your claim in. Look at that.
It's like we know what we're doing now. Cool. So I can vouch for this. Joff is knee deep in Web3, crypto, that kind of stuff, and a lot of what he says I don't understand. I just pretend I understand so that I don't lose face with him. But the reality is, getting yourself a crypto wallet on Abstract is the easiest thing ever. If you've got a Google account, it's like a couple of clicks away. Go to abs.xyz and sign up there, and you link it with your Google account, and you're good to go. So that's a nice, easy way. And then they'll give you like a real long bunch of digits. This is for all the noobs out there. A long bunch of digits. That's your wallet address. That's the bit that you need to put into our website, corpdogs.xyz/free, with the secret word Bella. It's as easy as that. I mean, it's a little bit of effort, but you're getting a really fine piece of artwork. How long is this one going to be available for, Joff, before we take it down? How long have people got?
We'll keep it open. We'll say about 24 hours. We did stretch the last one out to about 36 or so. It's normally depending on when I wake up tomorrow, and yeah, see how we get on. But
there we go. You got 24 hours, everybody. Two things: get your abstract address, go to the website, and put the details in. It is as easy as that for you to start collecting NFT art. And who knows?
and if anyone does have any problems, then reach out to us.
If anybody has any problems, reach out to Joff, because there's no point in me
Us.
reaching out to me. I'm just going to point you towards Joff anyway. If somebody came to me and said, I've logged in on Abstract and I don't know where to go to find my address, I ain't going to be able to help
Tough
you.
luck.
Yeah. Joff's your man. No, it is easy. So yeah, I can always help you out. But yeah, they're the two details. So yeah, go and do that straight away. What do you do, Joff? Do you kind of drip feed these out as people put it in, or is it like we'll take a cut off after 24 hours and then everyone will get?
Yeah, once the form's closed, I'll mint them and airdrop them out to everyone.
And that'll normally take a few days. Did we just get the remouse ones have dropped in people's wallets? Is that right?
Yeah, that took me a while to get sorted, but now we've got the first one out. The next one's pretty much ready to go. So the artwork's up. I just need wallet addresses from everyone.
So anybody that put their wallet address in last week, go and check it, because you'll have your remouse piece in there already. Beautiful. Right,
I was actually thinking, watching kind of Arran draw along, that would be really cool to see like Arran's work with Remouse's color palettes and vice versa.
What an awesome idea. This
is I don't know if that's like really offensive to artists to say that they swap styles, but
no, not at all. That's a collab ready to happen there, John. That's what that is.
I think most artists love a collab, don't they? I think the one thing that might piss an artist off is if you look at their artwork and you say, yeah, it looks like somebody else's artwork. That's always something that kind of grinds me a little bit. Especially if it's an artist that I don't like. Should we? Let's have a little look at. Let's have a little look at what Aaron's drawing. There you go. Look at how that's coming along. Just with all those extra little details. That's a beauty.
Yeah, I'll try and zoom that in there a little bit. But yeah, she's just trying to find the faces, find the detail. Just working with it.
But all those little shadows, they just bring a little bit more depth to everything, because you kind of you got a black line with a white bit on one side and then the shade on the other side, and it just kind of moves things around.
And do you know what I think I like about the interlinking lines is that it kind of gives you a little bit of a. If I'm shading, I've almost got a bit of another area to shade, so it kind of gives me another little area that I can create a pocket of detail in. Whereas if you're doing a blank a face with less detail, the shading is so much trickier to do. You have to be a really accomplished painter to find that. So this is a really good method for people that don't quite know how the light hits and and that sort of works. It gives you a bit more of a reprieve to work with lighting and shade.
Yeah, there's a lot more places to hide as well, isn't there, with things?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love that. And then I'm all for kind of drawing and taking the stress out of drawing. And if that's what this does, then that's amazing. We're about to wrap up, everybody. So one last thing from Arran is, if anybody wants to kind of support what you do or follow what you do, what's the best way they can support or follow you?
Probably Instagram at the moment. I'm on X as well. It's just that my name, both handles are just Arran MacPhail. But yeah, drop us a like and a follow. It's always appreciated. But yeah, I do just do it for the love of it, to be honest, at the moment. So if you do like what I do, then drop us a follow.
Awesome.
And I'll follow you back.
That's not guaranteed. Let's put it out there.
Yeah, never commit to that.
Yeah. Right.
If you're a bot, I'm not interested. Yeah. If you're an artist that's doing some good stuff, you're getting a follow.
100%. And yeah, let me just point out as well that one of the things we want to do with Corp Dogs and with Let's Draw is we want to move over to like our digital chaos stroke battle lines, online battle lines, which is something we referenced earlier with the real world battle lines. I spoke to Prin about this. Kers, the lady that runs battle lines, she's happy for us to take it online so we can have two artists battling each other like this, with a bit of live drawing, maybe even four artists if we can get it working. So yeah, that's in the pipeline for one of the things that Joff and I want to do. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that one, and that'll be coming up soon. But yeah, we're gonna leave it here. Aaron, is that like that you got to a happy place with that?
I think there'd be just a little bit of more detail. I haven't quite got to this section, but ultimately,
we're
that's
going
kind of
nowhere.
going.
We're going nowhere until you finish that bit. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
We're hanging around until you get on with that. Hell, that's like 3 minutes work, surely. Metageist has just dropped into the Discord. Hi, Metageist. Hope you're doing well, mate. Thank you very much for joining.
Hey, Metageist.
You remember
guy.
Metageist, yeah, and another guy who's done battle lines as well. I can't remember who he battled, but I remember he did some of his drawing using holding a Posca in his mouth, which was like an iconic moment in battle lines history.
Was it Jason? I can't remember.
It might have been, yeah. He did beat us though, Corp. One year. We did a team battle with Frankie Curtis Creation, Rob Clarkson, me and you.
Yeah.
And it was Lee, Amanda Rigby. It might have been you. You might have been on the opposite team, actually. No, you're on my team. Oh, I'm losing the plot.
I seem to remember.
But he did win. Did
he? This was.
I'm sure they won.
Yeah, it was Metageist. Metageist, did you win that one? The team battle. I think from what I remember, it was Metageist, Process, Big Rig, and
that's right.
I think Rob was on our team. Me, you, Rob, and Frankie, and there was a tattooist whose name I can't quite remember. But yeah, those battle lines were amazing because there was like 5 artists on each side, all trying to draw on the same piece of board at the same time. You just kind of
on top of each other.
Yeah, you're just reaching over and just nudging each other out of the way. It was just absolute chaos for about an hour and a half.
It was good fun.
Yeah. With a bit of luck, Prin will bring that back. Normally, Prin's in the chat. She's obviously not in today. But yeah, normally Prin joins us on Facebook. Are you watching?
There you go. I've got that piece here.
You've got it, have you? Oh, hang on. Let's see if we can.
We did a tiki head, didn't we?
That's a different one, Joff. But let's have a little look at that one.
What was it?
Yeah, this was the second time we did team battles. These were much bigger boards. These ones. But this is where
that was a cork dog right there.
Yeah, it's just what I was going to say. If you look closely, that was like a mashup.
But you're not on that. You're not on the Corp Dog team, though, are you, Corp? You're on the other side.
No, they got a cease and desist letter after drawing that Corp Dog.
Oh well, come on, that was a good Corp Dog.
I did. Yeah, no, fantastic. And that was you, Jason, Doug Manton, and Tony Nero, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
And that was in my studio. That was a fabulous time. That was so the bit I did, Joff, was on the right hand side. You see those little worms kind of hanging around the outside edge.
Yeah.
And just kind of holding on to that disc in the middle. That was all I did. Yeah, just to prove it. Oh, and look at me with a paintbrush without a Posca pen.
I don't know where I saw a finished one somewhere. Where it's gone. There we go.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
This is why we need more collabs. If you look closely,
that's right.
If you look closely, right at the bottom, it does say the bottom is meant to be shit. Because like Aaron was saying about the bits at the top, I can't reach them. They're a bit difficult to kind of get just right. I'm like that with the bits at the bottom because you got to get on your knees, and I'm too old for getting on my knees and painting and drawing. That's why the bottom looks ropey. But yeah, you can see my little trick of name checking everyone who was in the crowd as well. So that big disc, we've got, we've got Arran MacPhail, X was there. Who else? Look, Kelly. Loads of names in there just to try and gain myself some extra.
Spike Rose.
you're just bribing.
It's an old trick, but it works, mate. And you know what? It's quite nice. It's quite nice looking back at it and remembering who was there, because my memories,
that's true,
poor at the best of times. So actually seeing that and remembering who was there is good. This is the kind of thing, Joff. I'd love to do this with when we go on to do our digital battles. Maybe having people collabing on one piece. Like they did on Magma that time, but we'll work this one.
Yeah, that'd be incredible.
It would be, wouldn't it? Yeah, just getting people working together and collabing. How are we doing, Aaron? Are you finished?
I think I'm calling it. Yeah.
Let's have a little look. Look at that. That's a beauty, mate. An absolute beauty, and all done in just over an hour. whilst being harassed at the same time as well. Awesome stuff.
Yeah, but it's all about it's just about having fun, just about opening up your creative flows. You know, in here there might be a face that I might be able to take a snippet of and work with it on a larger scale. Or sometimes you don't want to draw, you just want to doodle. You know, that's how we all started as kids. You just want to doodle. So it's kind of what I do when I'm bored, when I just want to de-stress. Do loads of random, and within those lines, I'll try and find some stuff to do.
That's amazing. Absolutely love it. Right, we are going to.
Thank you.
We are going to wrap up just there. So, oops. Here we go. So, thank you very much for joining in, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that. Just a reminder then to make sure you get onto the website corpdogs.xyz /free to claim your free piece of Arran's art.
I don't know if you realise, Corp, but you've just gone all green. We've lost everyone. I can still hear you.
Ooh. Is that better?
There we go.
Thanks, mate. No, I didn't realise that had happened.
No worries.
Yeah, go to the website, add your details, get yourself a free piece of Arran MacPhail's artwork. It's available for the next 24 hours only. But yeah, thanks very much for coming on, Arran. I really appreciate it. It's been great understanding your process. Actually being able to, I've painted with you so many times, but I've never been able to just sit and watch what you're doing. And I'm in awe of how quickly you did that and how amazing it looks. So yeah, thanks again for joining in, mate. I appreciate it, and we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you very much for having me. Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been a blast.
Take care, everybody, and we'll see you all
Catch you
next
later.
week, okay? Cheers, guys.
Bye-bye.